What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today we are taking a look at the Black Hole Toys, the Not Vegeta, the Bloodshed duo right here. Real quick, I just want to point out that this box is probably the most pristine box I have ever received from AliExpress. Normally they look like they have been through a battlefield. If you don't believe me, check out my video on the Demoniacal Fit Broly. I'll link it up here in the corner somewhere, and you can see how wonderful that box was. But anyways, this box actually isn't too bad looking. It's pretty simple, just got a little bit of artwork on the front and half of a window, and on the back it's just that, and that is the extent of it for the most part. But it is in really good shape. This is that 2-pack that everybody's been talking about. Some people have been raving, some people have been complaining that's been on AliExpress, so I went ahead and ordered it. But let's get it out of the box and take a closer look at them. All right, we got them out of the box, and I gotta say, at first glance, they do look better than I thought they were going to, especially this one. When I saw images of them, I wasn't sure I was gonna be, too thrilled with this one, but it looks better in person than I thought it was going to. But let's not get carried away. Let's see how tall they are real quick. And this one, the base form without the battle damage to the top of his hair is 6 inches, and down to his hairline is just north of 5 inches, which would make him 15.5 centimeters to the top of his hair. Let me lay him down. And the battle damaged one in inches is on the same height at 6 inches to the top of the hair, but down to where his hairline is just south of 5 inches. And we'll talk about that more later on in the video. So the entire figure is 15.5 centimeters, and I think that is just about right. We are going to focus mainly on the battle damaged one, and I'll tell you why. This one right here is literally a 1-for-1 with the SH Figuarts 2.0 Scouter Vegeta. Okay, and just to show you real quick, I have the 1.0 Vegeta, Scouter Vegeta right here, and they are just not the same. This is a 1-for-1, and I've actually done a little research. They are 1-for-1 with each other, the 2.0 Scouter Vegeta. So if you don't have that and you want it, ordering this might be a good idea for you, because you get a cheap 2.0 Scouter Vegeta, and it is exactly like it, with the same problems and everything. So we're going to go over him real quick, and then we're going to spend most of the video talking about the battle damage one. We've done how tall he is. Just like the SH Figuarts Scouter Vegeta, matte finish on the hair. The hair looks really good. I think the 2.0 Scouter Vegeta with SH Figuarts is like a 5 or 6 year old figure. So the faces are softer than we're used to in the past couple of years. The last handful of releases of Vegeta, the faces have gotten a lot sharper and the paint looks good. But for its time, that 2.0 Scouter Vegeta's face looked really good, and this one is no exception. No panel lining or shading anywhere on the figure. But he does have a matte finish all over him, even on the pants, and like the blue bodysuit is a matte finish, so it does look good. It's not kind of satiny like most of the Vegeta figures, so I think that might be the only difference, really. And the same problems that you're going to have, not a lot of leg kick. On this one, the way they've seated the hinges for these kind of impedes the legs a little bit. And the tail is just a little bit too small, as you can see, and it has a hard time staying plugged in and snapped to itself. Same gapping issues, but that's all, Saiyan armor figures run into that problem. But it is a good figure, especially for when it was made. It's a good figure, but if you've seen any of the 2.0 Scouter Vegeta stuff before, you've seen everything about this, because like I said, it is a 1-for-1. So now let's really kind of focus on the battle damaged Vegeta, because this one, there are some things about it that I really like, and there are some things that I'm a little confused about. First and foremost, his hair sculpt looks really good. Nice matte finish. I like it. And that is an original one. That isn't like a copy of any of the SH Figuarts one. And I'll tell you why. Let's compare their heads really quick. Remember when I told you that to his hairline was actually lower than the other one? That is because if you can look at their faces, this one's faces are smaller than this one. This one's head sculpt is smaller. Let's look at their hair. See how much thinner the one on the left, like poof of his hair is compared to the one on the right? That's kind of crazy. The entire head sculpt and face plates are just smaller, and I'll show you more comparisons of that when we get into their accessories. But he does look good. It looks good, and we'll try some head swaps here later too. But it looks really good. The battle damage like paint that they put on him, I think it looks pretty darn good. And that face is definitely a Vegeta face. It's just smaller.
It's especially small. So small.
If you can see here, I'll pop his face off really quick. We're not going to do any articulation yet. But look at it, it's just smaller. But anyways, I'm going to get off of that for just a few minutes and talk about the rest of the figure. These paint lines, these worried me when I looked at pictures, that because they kind of, like on camera, kind of look like they were just drawn on with like an ink pen or something. They kind of do, but not nearly as bad in person. And if you had it in hand, you'd be able to tell. They actually sculpted that in a little bit because there's like texture to it. So I kind of like it. And especially like the battle damaged armor, that looks pretty darn good. And right here, that piece looks really good. And the shoulder piece, that looks really good. It's just this part on the white right here. It on camera looks worse than it is. In person, it's not too bad. And because they even did it on the back here, and it looks pretty decent. And as you can see here, they sculpted it all up through. Even if you've got him lean back or whatever, it's underneath there. And I think it looks pretty darn good. And just like the other one, of course, the tail has a little bit of trouble staying pegged into his butt. But that's okay. But other than that kind of paint, there's no shading or panel lining on this figure either. They did a good job with the sculpt and paint of the shoulder here, matching the color up to the rest of his body. For the most part, it's not 100% perfect, but you will not notice unless you go really looking for it, and why would you? There's some battle damage on the forearm pieces too. The battle damage to the suit on the legs looks really good. I like it quite a bit, and there's battle damage on the boots. So this figure is really cool, other than that a weird anomaly of the head and face being smaller. I'm not really sure why they did that. His articulation, weirdly enough, is actually better than that one. The shoulders come to right there, like normal. Now the shoulders, as far as like the butterfly, we all know the butterflies on Vegeta figures are useless, so that you're going to get only that out of it. Of course, you get bicep swivel that works just fine. Double jointed elbow gives you decent range, and the wrists are on a ball hinge. You get some good crunch, better than the clone of the 2.0 Vegeta. And he leans back pretty good, and if you keep him smashed down, the gapping's actually minimal, believe it or not. And the bodies anyway, not the heads, but the bodies are the same size. His legs, you get way better range on this one in the legs out to the side. You get a better front kick out of him. Of course, you get a thigh swivel just like normal. And a double jointed knee that works just fine. Now this one, I'm going to pull it up again just for a comparison. These aren't exactly the same figure. This is pure on, third party sculpting right here. Because look at the thighs; they are just different. That thigh swivel is lower, so these two aren't exactly the same figure. As if you couldn't tell by now, but they're pretty close. And this one actually has better articulation, and this one kicks back and does a gymnast split really well. So I like this figure. It's just its head sculpt is really small, and I don't really know why they did that. Let's take his head off really quick and take a look. Whoop. And he's on a normal ball hinge, just like the other one.
Fuck.
Let's take the other one's head off real quick. Their necks and ball hinges are the same. It's the same because you can take this non-battle damaged Vegeta head and stick it on this figure. It sits a little deeper onto the ball hinge, so the range is going to be limited more, but you can swap them. And here in a minute, when we pull out some other Vegeta figures, we'll see what kind of head swaps we can do with them. But yeah, the face, look here. Non-battle damaged on the right, battle damaged on the left. Look at that. Much smaller. I don't know why they did that, but anyways, both of the figures are good. Let's move into some comparisons with some other figures, and then we'll move on from there. All right, here's the whole Saiyan crew. Let's just run through them real quick. Let's just grab him, whoops, as I rip his head off, and compare him to each of the other Saiyan figures real quick and maybe do a head swap or two. Here he is with the 1.0 Scouter Vegeta, and as you could tell, they are two totally different figures, and I personally think the aesthetics as far as the paint and detail on this one are better, but this is an overall better figure for sure. I mean, I'm not trying to say that a 1.0 is better. Here he is with Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, and they measure up and look really good. You wouldn't never be able to tell this isn't an SH Figuarts. Here he is with the first run of the Super Saiyan Vegeta, and they are exactly the same height, and they look really good. And you could tell they came out around the same time, or at least the face plates and stuff that this was mimicked after came out the same time around this, because their face plates details are very similar, kind of a little bit softer like they were back then. Here he is next to Nappa. I love this Nappa figure, holy crap. And of course, Vegeta is way too tall. He needs to be a lot shorter. Man, that Nappa figure is awesome. Speaking of awesome figures, here's another awesome one with Raditz, and I think he's too tall to be next to Raditz as well, but they look really good next to each other. And here he is next to one of my favorite Saiyans, Turles, and they look super good. I like that very well. But again, Vegeta is too tall compared to all of them. And here is the newest Super Saiyan Vegeta, the Awakened Super Saiyan Blood. And as you can tell, the Awakened Super Saiyan Blood face sculpts are a lot newer and crisper and sharper. But let's see if their heads swap really, really fast. And then we'll move on because I want to look at their accessories. All right, here is that one. Let's take this off and see if they head swap. And they do. It's awfully loose, but if somebody wanted to put some sticky tack on it, you could do it. You could swap that. Let's see how his head sculpt looks on the Awakened Super Saiyan Blood figure. It's much tighter, so it'll probably look a lot better. And that looks pretty good. That looks pretty decent right there. That's not too stinking bad. But anyways, let's move on and take a look at their accessories. Okay, now for accessories, Black Hole Toys did not skimp out because, of course, we come with the two different figures that we've shown have two different hair sculpts, right? One size and one the other size. Note the differences in thickness and just all overall detail of the sculpt. But we also get a third head sculpt.
Oh my god, no way!
And it is for the bigger head sculpt, the one with the bigger face plates and stuff, and it looks pretty good. But the hair sculpt itself for this one is actually different than the other one. Even though they're the same size for the same like face plates or whatever, the hair sculpt is actually a little bit different in the back in the thickness. It is more the same thickness as the smaller one. For whatever reason, I don't know. I wasn't part of the dream team for that. But for the bigger two head sculpts, we get four different looks. Obviously, we get the serious look that came on him in the package. We get a teeth gritting face that came with this second hair sculpt. We also get a screaming face, and it looks really good, and it's got some veinage right there. And lastly, for this one, we get a little smirking face. It wouldn't be a Vegeta without a smirking face, and that looks really, really good. And for this the smaller faceplate head sculpt, we get this beat up yelling face right here, and it looks really, really nice. We also get this serious look right there, and that looks a lot like the old school anime Vegeta face, so I like that one a lot. And we get a smirking face, and it looks really good too, just smaller. And we get a second one eye closed and he's grinning beat up face, and the paint on it looks pretty darn good. I like this one as well. Every faceplate looks really darn good. Both figures also come with 6 hands for each figure. You know, they come with fist hands on them in the package, and they get a set of wide open hands apiece, and they're sculpted just fine. Nothing you haven't seen. And some martial arts grip hands. Nothing you haven't seen before. We also, just like the SH Figuarts, get the hand crushing the Scouter, and that looks pretty cool, I guess.
It's over 9,000!
For some reason, we get an extra little Scouter, and it is the same color and everything. For a minute, I thought they were different colors, but if you put it on a head, I've swapped them. They are the same color. This one has a little speck of white paint right there, if you can see that. It's almost like they were trying to give it a printout or like a readout, but they just didn't and left it alone, and that's perfectly fine. We get cross arms attachments just like we do with any Vegeta figure. I don't ever put them on my figures because I think they stretch out the pegs, but it looks good enough. And just like the SH Figuarts one, we get a straightened out tail. That's not a bad spread of accessories for this figures and this price point. All right, all that looked really good. I liked all those comparisons, and their spread of accessories is pretty darn good. I mean, I wish it had a blast effect like the 1.0 and a stand, but it doesn't. You know, it came with the exact same, you know, accessories that the SH Figuarts 2.0 Scouter Vegeta came with, and that's okay, ×2 plus a little bit more. Overall, I'm pleasantly pleased. If that's a way to say it, with this 2-pack. I like it better than I thought I was going to, and I thought I would enjoy it anyway, and I enjoy it a lot more. This figure here on the left turned out a lot better than I anticipated it to, and this one I'm actually pleased to say is like I've said a few times in the video, a 1-for-1 with the SH Figuarts 2.0 Scouter Vegeta. I did not have it. If you don't have that and you're looking for that, don't pay crazy secondary market prices for that thing. Get this 2-pack right here, $60 some odd before taxes. That's pretty darn good compared to the $100+ you'd pay for the SH Figuarts one, because it's not a horrible figure, but it's not fantastic. It's not a $100+ figure. So buy this if you need that, and this figure right here is really darn good. Overall, I'm going to give these figures a B-. A lot of room for improvement. They could do a lot of things better, but for what this is a pretty darn good 2-pack. Usually with 2-packs, one figure completely sucks and the other one takes up, you know, shines. And these are both good figures for what they are, and their accessories, like I've said a couple of times, are really darn good. But that's all I've got for these two figures. If you haven't subscribed yet, pause the video, scroll down, click subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment. And with all that said, this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.